If you got the question I asked is, how would these meetings happen if the co-chair, being the commissioner of police, are moved at every decision of the Inspector General of Police, they are moved randomly? How would these meetings work out in building security towards the elections in the state?
The fact remains that they are not moved as such at random. It's just that when you look at the dailies, when you look at the media, you have 36 states and FCT. People are bound to be moved. And no one have the monopoly of sitting in one place for so long. And these are for security issues and for operational issues as well. So if you think that a commissioner needs, some of them will go to NIPS, some of them will retire, and you cannot say, well, you have to stay there forever. So people have to move. But I think for us, as a professional organization, everybody knows what is expected of them, their daily briefing, so there is no disconnect between the state and the annexure people with the command. And once they go into those places, it's go, go, go. And go as in like they don't need, there is briefing, there is handover notes, and we are all in Nigeria, so everybody knows what is going on in all these respective states. So it's not like you bring in somebody from Mars to come and start looking at something that's totally different.
All right,
people
Prof.
are aware of what is going on, so we shouldn't use the movement of police to adjudge them or to judge them that they are not efficient. The efficiency rate is improving every day.
Okay. Talking about movement of police, so the police force deployed about 2,000 men recently to the northeast. While there are those who are wondering why only 2,000 will be deployed for such a situation in the northeast and 30,000 deployed for election purposes in one of the states that just had elections. Let's look at that deployment. How is it working out? What's the plan in deploying just 2,000 men to the northeast?
What people seem to forget is the fact that this is not the first deployment. Officers have been deployed. They've been there all along. So, for instance, when you look at Borno, when you look at Yobe, this is not the first deployment, so we need to get that clear. This is an additional deployment to support the military activities on the ground. And secondly, when you try to compare it to the states with the election in those states, they are perceived to be volatile, the security threat was high, and so most of what we do, actually I would say everything we do is led by intelligence. So when you talk about intelligence-led policing, when you look at the hotspots, and you look at the flash spots, and look at areas where there might be propensity for violence, then police are deployed appropriately. So in the case of the Northeast, what we've been able to do at this point is to make sure that we have enough resources to support the military activities on the ground. So it's not something that is not there already. The 2,000 police officers that were deployed were in addition to the ones that are already on the ground. So this is not a surprise. It's not the first time we deploy people to the Northeast.
Do you know the total of number of policemen that have been deployed?
We have a number of them. What I can do is when we get back, I'll talk to the first PRO, then we can make that. Actually, that is available on the media, but I'm not sure for the number for now.
Okay, Mr. Ejiofor, let me get your thoughts on this, because a lot of people are concerned about this 2,000 special forces, we understand, made up of the counterterrorism unit, as well as the police mobile force, as well as sniffer dog units amounting to about 2,000. It will suggest to a lot of people that perhaps this is the first time that special kind of forces are being deployed to handle the situation in the Northeast. But is it enough, really? Because Boko Haram are employing drones now to fight. Are we facing the realities of our times?
As far as I'm concerned, that's an irony and a contradiction. I'll give you this analogy. There's a proverb in my place. The dog finds it very difficult to crack a bone, and you ask a fowl to go and do it. I think that's an irony. Our soldiers, the military bases, are being attacked by Boko Haram with sophisticated weapons, and you are deploying police to that place. I believe that the responsibility of the police is to maintain peace in secured areas and not sending them to the front. That's the work of the military. It's suicidal, as far as I'm concerned, to deploy 2,000 policemen to that volatile area that has not been secured, especially when the attacks on the military formations are on the rise. I don't see any sense in it, with due respect. But the police knows its reasons for doing that. I don't know. But at least in the media, you can feel the pulse of the people, that people are against it, people are not happy about it.
Because if I may come in here again, if I may come in here, Mr. Ejiofor, because what the police said is that they are deploying, these are special forces, one of which is made up of the counter-terrorism unit. Do you, in your training, for instance, feel that these guys are trained well enough to be able to address the rise in terrorism actions in the Northeast?
Whether they receive training or not, that is not material now. The fact remains that, like he rightly pointed out, all these operations are intelligence-driven. And if you bring counter-terrorism, bring sniffer dog, are you going to compare with people who are using drones, which the military has admitted? I don't see how that will work. 2,000 policemen, what are they going to do? To carry arms that they don't have, to carry armored tanks that they don't have, that the military has, and they're not continuing the situation. I don't see any sense in it, please.
So do you see any sense then in the Army Chief Buratai remaining in the Northeast? We've had that same kind of situation when we were under attack, especially in the height of Boko Haram attacks, where we had to make a formation and even establish a base, which brought about the Operation Lafia Dole, having a base in Borno State. What impact will Tukur Buratai remaining in the Northeast have at this time?
Well, I sympathize with the Chief of Army Staff. This is not the first time. Even when during the inaugural speech, the President directed that they should relocate the operational base to Borno State until the battle is won. This is the third time they are getting that. But I still maintain my point. Much as I sympathize with the leadership of the various security agencies, you cannot put something on nothing. If they don't have the means to fight, if they like, let the whole of them go and stay in that place. It will not make any impact. We must be properly equipped before you start talking of it. Relocating to that place, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't have any meaning. When you don't have the means, you don't put something on nothing.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ejiofor.
Let us face the facts. Let us fund our security and give the military.
Okay, Mr. Ejiofor, we'll have to come in here. Professor Ogunsakin, we're almost out of time, but just tell us, what should we be doing now in terms of intelligence management, positioning of our security operatives, especially in tackling the situation in the Northeast?
I'm going to answer that, but the bit I need to clarify again is the fact that the 2,000 police officers that were recently deployed were in addition to the ones already on the ground. So this is not the first time deployment has taken place. So we need to get that right. And then what we've been doing with intelligence-led is being able to go to the grassroots, that we provide the necessary intelligence. And these are the bits that the interventions are based on. The process of collecting intelligence takes a while, but at the end of the day, what the police have been able to do successfully is to contain the areas that have been, have been ascribed, have been safe. So the police are not going in the front. The military still takes the role to lead. What the police are doing is to support the military action. So before we get it too wrong. So these are two different roles. The military go in front and the police support them. And the fact that the intelligence operations that take place is now shared with the military, so they know what is going on, and the police are in a position to make better decisions. That's what is happening right now.
All right, thank you very much, Prof.
So we're going to have to call it a wrap up for both of you. I want to thank you so much indeed. Ogunsakin is a professor of police studies, and Mike Ejiofor, the former director of the SSS. Thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for talking to us. And Sunrise Daily will be back in just a moment. Join us again.